The Hustleshare podcast is brought to you by PDAX. PDAX is a homegrown cryptocurrency exchange that offers the best rates among local cryptocurrency exchanges. Download the PDAX app now on the Google Play Store, App Store, or Huawei App Gallery. Start trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies for as low as 50 pesos by signing up on podlink.co/hustlesharepdax. Also powered by Podmachine, the simplest way to grow and edit your podcast. Sign up now at podmachine.com and use the code Hustleshare to get one free edit. Welcome to the Hustleshare Soonicorn Sessions. The show where we discuss the journeys of Southeast Asia's most successful startups that are soon going to be the region's next unicorns. Now here's your host, Ronster Baetiong.
Welcome to the 4th edition of the Soonicorn Sessions. Man, we got another Soonicorn. It's always nice to see your Soonicorn friends thriving and surviving. But this is going to be a unique episode because my guest today is literally in his office. But he's locked out. He just got his key on a Saturday. But this is, again, the plight of startup founders, especially Soonicorn founders. What is a Saturday? Saturday is a work day. He's the only dude in the office. But before I get carried away, let's again welcome back our newest and the youngest Soonicorn, actually, who got Tiger Global. Just Tiger Global, huh? That to invest in his startup, Mr. Nichel Gaba of PDAX. Nichel, welcome back to Hustleshare, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ron, for the warm welcome. And obviously, I ran a bit late for our schedule because I can't seem to go into the office. I left my key, and yeah, you're right. So I guess even as startup, sometimes raise funding, do this. At the end of the day, we're all still hustling. We're all still grinding, and weekends are a good time to rest. Sometimes there's something that you just have to do, right?
Correct. Exactly. Same. My weekend is recording day, technically. And then I take one day off, Sunday. That's how my schedule is now. But again, congratulations for such an amazing turnaround. We've last had you October 2021. And as we're recording this is March. More or less around 6 months. Oh my God, the amount of growth you're able to get. And again, I love if you're interested to listen about Michelle's history, we have an older, regular episode to listen to that. But today, we're going to go and do a recap of what happened since October because you were able to raise Series B from one of the most prestigious funds in the whole world, Tiger Global. Okay, so walk us through what happened since October till now, because as I remember, October, that's when Play to Earn was really starting to make a lot of noise last year. Was that a big factor to how things accelerated for you guys?
Absolutely, Ron. So definitely what happened over the past 6 months is that the Philippines was firmly put on the spotlight for anything to do with the metaverse, right? And obviously, play to earn, this play to earn trend here, showcasing for the very first time that there is some value to be made in the metaverse. And yeah, and the Philippines is probably the best market for it. We're young, we're tech savvy, we have supportive ecosystems, and we have very good talent, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And of course, when you have that talent and all that stuff that you really need, what do you need? It's the best and most reliable crypto exchange to get that money and also to invest again. Before the mega dip happened, thankfully I was able to exit on some. So at least I didn't really feel the crunch and not just hodl.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, like hi. Right before my wedding, I was able to cash out a little bit. But I want to know the key milestones. So you don't get to just become a Soonicorn without really big milestones. Can you talk about some of the biggest milestones that happened over the past 6 months that led to Tiger coming in?
Yeah. Now milestones are, I guess, a pretty loose word, no, in
Yeah.
this in the startup space, right? Like we count milestones according to product launches, according to user growth, revenue growth. Fortunately, over the past year, and this has been maybe not just over the past year, but over the past 2 years,
Mhm.
we experienced steady, if not substantial user base growth. They were, were I think at more than 600, almost maybe 700,000 users.
Wow.
It's growing quite healthily month on month. Transactions have also been up, right?
Mhm.
So I think maybe the exact figures are fluctuate month on month, but we've been doing quite healthily,
Nice.
9 figures in USD
Woo!
on a
That is
monthly.
nice.
Yeah.
9 figures. Amazing. In fiat valuation. There you go. But that's amazing. So what are the in every key milestone and coming in as a start again, putting my startup founder hat, that doesn't happen by accident, right?
Mm-mm.
Um there are things that are triggered by that because it was prepared for ahead of time. What were those things that you really had to do that really contributed to this exponentially?
Yeah, so this is a problem that a lot of startups face, right? You always have scarce resources. So when
Yep.
you first start, you have to make a very deliberate decision what you're going to invest in. And more often than not, companies invest in product development, right? Because the goal is to release an MVP. But then
Yep.
you have other areas also very important to the business that have been, that will be underinvested, right? So I think for us, a lot of focus was put into the product, but
Mm.
more and more, we've been putting a lot more effort and resources into marketing, into growing the community, um, optimizing our products and our product experience to
Mhm.
cater to the Pinoy, to the retail investor, to the play to earn gamer. So that's really a lot of what we've been doing, and fortunately, it's yielding some pretty good results, and we hope to continue that effort.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely correct because at Series B, just call it what it is. You can't get to Series B, and I remember you telling me about this. You can't just storytell your way into Series B
Yeah.
anymore, right? You can't just narrative your way anymore to get the Series B. At the end of the day, at Series B, you should have product market fit. And in PDAX's realm or point of view, what was the product market fit look like that allows you now to again be in a position to scale further? Because at this stage at Series B, VCs call this growth stage already
Yep.
or prep for growth, scaling up, right? You can't scale up something that doesn't work, right? What was that product market fit like?
Well, I think at this stage, we've identified very key customer segments for us, right?
Mm.
And uh, from a product market fit standpoint, we're trying to hit all these segments.
Okay.
Obviously, there's the retail trading segment, right? So
Mm.
people who are coming into crypto for the first time, we want to offer them the best experience, cashing in and out and trading.
Yep.
There's also the institutional segment, right? Higher net worth individuals or families or corporations that want crypto exposure. And then there's the remittance segment. So that has
Mm.
been growing, right? People don't really know this because it's not individuals who use crypto to remit funds, right? It's actually remittance companies that are now using crypto rather than
Wow.
funds. And
Okay.
obviously, the last segment is play to earn. I think it's quite clear that here in the Philippines, the play to earn business model goes through guilds, managers who then equip scholars, right? So we also try to make that as easy as possible for managers and scholars. So these are the key segments that we're really very focused on. And there are other areas that we always have an eye towards from a
Right.
growth point.
And here's one thing also that's very, very important that I'd like to get your 2 cents on. Because again, you've been at this for a while, right? You've been chugging. How long has it been since you founded PDAX again?
PDAX really started like late, almost end 2017, early
Wow.
2018. So yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah,
You know.
4 years. And a lot of that really is, again, you prep for this, but how big of a factor is timing? Because this is something that one thing not all startup founders have control of.
Mhm.
Because you can build the best product, you can build the best team, even the best situation to help you succeed, but there's one thing you can't control, which is timing, right? What is that? How much of a is it a perfect storm that really happened in favor of PDAX now that or is it a lot more factors than that?
I probably will ramble a little bit here,
Sure.
Noron, and feel free to
No,
edit
go
stuff.
ahead. This is a podcast. We don't have anything
This
else.
is this is something I'm really passionate about. Um, there are YouTube videos out there, right? Like one of the key reasons why startups fail is timing, right? Not getting the timing right. And on the surface, it's so easy to point to timing and say, "Oh, I was unlucky, right? I was too early or I was too late, etc." But actually, timing is not an external factor, really, right?
Okay.
Timing is a product of being prepared and
Yes.
anticipation, right? In fact, one of my most favorite basketball players is Dwayne Wade, right? Like the best
TY. There you
guard,
go. Mhm.
right? And the way he gets blocks as short as he is because he has the skill set to go up that high, and he has great anticipation,
Yeah.
right? So in our case, we know for a fact that the crypto wave is coming, right? Or crypto going mainstream is an eventuality. It's gonna happen,
Mhm.
right? So the way you take charge of that timing is you build the capabilities that you need right now in order to prepare for it, and you ensure that you have enough funding so that you survive until the wave hits, right? Because a lot of startups, they build great products but they don't have enough they didn't get enough
Runway.
funding to or runway to finally see their product go to market. So yeah, I would say timing, yes, there's an element of luck, to
Mhm.
everything, but a big part of it is being prepared, anticipating, and ensuring you have the resources to make sure that that timing can work in your favor rather than against you.
And that's absolutely correct. I'm trying to write and think of that in Podcast Network Asia. I
Mhm.
know the podcasting wave will happen. It's inevitable. All signs point to it. Right now, we're padding up. We're just unfortunate that we are in an early nascent market in Southeast Asia. But if you look at how big it is in the West,
Mhm.
man, it is huge. And I just see that thing will eventually come through here, and that would be the eventuality. And it's hard to prep for something that's not out there because most people will pass. Right now,
Yep.
walk us through how you were able to then go through those early stages there, where you're just playing the role of Messiah. Or the prophet that would like, hey, this will happen, and that wasn't true because eventually it did happen. Tiger came in.
Mhm.
What bridge us through that gap of playing the prophet game onto, see, told you it's gonna happen.
Well, for every prophet that gets things right, there are probably 99 other prophets,
Yes.
either branded as lunatics or were killed in
Yep.
the
Yeah.
did
You
not
can't
forget
be
that.
Nostradamus all the time. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But prophesying or like being an advocate, I guess, no, being an advocate for crypto had its unique challenges from the very beginning, right? Because crypto was seeking to disrupt an industry that had a lot of controls against something like crypto, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about finance. In the early days, right? Every time you talk about crypto to mainstream media or people from traditional finance, you really get ignored or like seen as crazy. But there's also a unique element to being a disruptor in the financial services
Yes.
industry that can work to your advantage,
Mm.
and that is that at the end of the day, finance or financial services will have to listen to the market, right? And the market has said that Bitcoin is worth $60,000, right? All these NFTs are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? That probably is a bigger factor in crypto going mainstream. Not really the advocacy of firms like PDAX, but because the market itself has begun validating these views. And so Tiger Global, which probably, well, first of all, they're amazing investors, and we're very, very fortunate
Yep.
to have them as partners. They're always ahead of the game, right? They are the guys who invest in something, and they're always proven to be correct. And they're starting to see this now too, right? And have made very big bets in crypto, and that's really on the back of very good market validation.
Got it. All right. Now let's dig deep a little bit more on what you guys had to go through from, again, the last time we talked in October last year to where you are now. What were the hardest things you had to go through in between that phase? Because again, it's all fun and games. You're gonna get all the roses and congratulations, but deep inside, I know it's hella hard. What were those things for you?
It's nice that you talk about it in that way, no, na yeah, you're getting roses. And when an entrepreneur closes around the funding, you're gonna get a lot of flowers from a lot of people,
Yep.
right? Who will reach out, congratulate you. um but you know that everything is added pressure, right? Because
Yes.
now
Stakes are high, my God.
stakes are high.
Yep.
You're giving the resources, so just like Kobe Bryant, like no excuses, right? Like
Yep.
you now have to have the you now have to show your success. The hardest thing about what transpired between October and now has been probably the amount of product development work, the
Ooh.
amount of growing up that the company has needed to do. And
Okay.
and what's happening here is PDAX started pretty much as a garage operation. I would say a coffee shop
Okay.
operation, because that's
Okay.
that's where we were working at the time. So transitioning from a coffee shop operation to something closer to a global financial institution will
Yeah.
take a lot of growing up, right? And that's putting a strain on the team, right? Who
Yes.
who now have to work so hard just to ensure that we keep providing the best service. And big shout out to our engineering team and our operations team for grinding it out over the past few months, just scaling up the company. And mahirap to when it comes
Yeah.
to
Super.
to ensuring that uh, number one, the startup grows as fast as possible. Number two, that it doesn't go off the rails and burn people out, right?
Correct.
So that's always going to be a tricky exercise in the startup space.
Absolutely. Now let's take our first break because we have to play the PDAX ad. Because you are the number one supporter of Hustleshare. But when we come back, and let's take a deep dive on what exactly those growing up you had to do. Because again, that's why we're doing this format of Soonicorn Session, because not everybody is experiencing this. But inevitably, a lot of people follow suit, and hopefully we can learn of how you guys did it. Let's talk about that more after the break.
Hey hustlers, before we resume the episode, let me tell you a very quick secret. Do you guys ever wonder how we're able to consistently release episode after episode here in Hustleshare without missing a date over the past 3 years? Well, it's not just pure hustle, because I'm also running my podcast along with me running my startup full time. Now, for some of you who have listened to this podcast, you guys very well know that I created a startup that is designed to help the best podcasters in Southeast Asia to realize their full potential, which is called Podcast Network Asia. And over the past couple of years, we've achieved quite a lot in P&A, helping hundreds of podcasters create world-class episodes consistently. However, what we realize is that we are not really solving the real problem of all podcasters in the world if we're not gonna productize the thing that we're very good at, which is helping podcasters solve the two main pain points of a podcaster, which is number one, nobody really likes to edit their own show, especially if you're listening to your own voice. Just like me, I cringe a lot. Having to listen to my voice for 3 to 4 hours just to release a 1-hour episode. It's no fun. And then the other thing is that most podcasters, just like me, are absolutely clueless on how to properly grow their show, which is something that we have perfected in Podcast Network Asia. So we've decided to put this all in one product that helps any podcaster in the world create world-class shows that people will love and will continuously grow. And that's why we created Podmachine. Podmachine is the most affordable podcast subscription service that helps you with your podcasting needs. We've got everything from audio production, crafting designs, and marketing and growth support. So as a podcaster, you can now just focus on the thing that matters the most, creating great content for your listeners. So if you are an existing podcaster or someone that actually wants to create their podcast now, no need to worry. You got a founder's discount by listening here on Hustleshare. So sign up now at podmachine.com. And aside from the free trial that you're going to get as a new user, I'm throwing in another one free edit as soon as you sign up for just as low as $49.99 USD a month to start creating a consistent and world-class podcast. Again, that's podmachine.com and use the code Hustleshare to get your founder discount. So if you have friends that are podcasters and if you want to have a podcast just like this, y'all know what to do. So just go and talk to you guys in Podmachine.
And we're back from the break. We are still with Nichel Gaba, who's stuck outside his office because he left the key. It's the most amazing episode. The stuff you get to do with the hustlers in Hustleshare. But Nichel, I want to know, you mentioned before the break that there were real growing up you had to go through. I'll come clean. Every single time we scale and someone already told me about this, is Patrick Gentry of Sprout Solutions, that said that, dude, you got to be ready for the rule of 3 and 10. It's gonna come, and every time your company multiples in and grows in multiples of 3 and 10, shit breaks. I was aware of that, but I thought I was prepared until it hit me. Now all of a sudden there were new problems that I didn't know how to tackle. It's uncharted territory. HR, I didn't know how to source it out. People were starting to leave. You're straining that you can't just rah everything anymore. There needed to be structure. What were those things for you guys?
It's everything. So like you said, you had you faced everything from operations to HR. The way I would describe the experience of scaling is that it's like a no no it's like you have a car, right? Let's say it's a
Yes.
Toyota Vios. It can run easily, right? 50 kilometers per hour.
Yep.
But now it's got to run at 500 kilometers per hour.
That's a jet.
So, okay, something more realistic, like 300, right?
Okay.
300 kilometers an hour. But then you have to probably upgrade so many things, right? You have to upgrade maybe the engine, right? And then later on, you'll see na, okay, yung gearbox needs to be changed because it needs to go to like, 10 gears or maybe beyond that. Later on, you realize na, oh no, these tires they can't go that fast, right? They're gonna fall off. The wheels are gonna fall off. And then later on, you realize, you know what, we should be using high performance fuel if we're gonna go that fast. Okay,
Correct.
and these are the trickier parts to it. Number one, you actually there's no way to tell what you need to fix before you're already going 200 miles an hour.
You have
right?
no clue,
There's no way
right?
to tell,
Yeah.
right? Number two, all of these problems that need to be solved, right, towards scaling, they are all urgent because if you do not solve for new tires, right,
Man.
or try the tires issue, you're gonna burn out rubber, right?
Yep.
In the same way that now, if we don't fix our org structure, people are always gonna feel frustrated. If we don't hire more people, people will the existing people will always have to be working more. If
Yep.
you don't fix the existing technology, which by the way is serving a lot of crypto traders these days, you won't be able to service an even bigger customer base, right? So it's a delicate balance that you constantly have to do, and that's the challenge of scaling.
Super. And that's true because we're now in the thick of becoming, and that's two different jobs. Being a founder where you're just trying to get shit done, trying to get a product out, trying to get initial traction. But now you're trying to become a real executive, a real good operator. So it's delicate. It's not everybody it's not every day that everybody becomes a Brian who can be the right guy from 0 and still be the right guy at 100. Right? Because there's a lot of growing up that you're gonna have to do, right? Brian is a perfect example of a good founder guy that is also gonna be great as an operator, right? And a couple things I want to know. At the end of the day, there are times also from an HR point of view, no matter how you love your team, your problems or your need for a Lambo, since you were a Vios for a while, you're gonna outgrow your people. And they're just not going to be the right fit anymore. And that hurts because you have loyalty towards these people and then it's sad to see them go. I want to know first, what type of new hires did you need to prepare your Vios or the PDAX of old to become the PDAX of new?
It's good that you brought up eventually also having to quote unquote upgrade people, right? So I see that as one of two things, right?
Yeah.
One is you have to train them, or like you have to train them. They have to have an attitude of learning so that they can upskill and grow. And the other is you just have to hire people to whom they will be reporting, right? It's never easy, right? But I think at PDAX, no, I can say this with very much a straight face. Na we have not displaced anybody, right? Or we have not let somebody go just because we hired a replacement. In fact, I will say this publicly. We probably give out the most in employees options.
Wow.
And that's because the people who bled for the company in the earlier days, who believed in the vision, maybe maybe you're right. They're not the ones who will take you from, they took you from 0 to 100, but they're
Yeah,
not going to take you from 100 to 100 million.
correct.
And that's just because maybe it's not in their experience or in their skill set.
Yeah.
But if you align interests with your employees, right, by making them owners and partners, not just employees, then your incentives will always be aligned. We need to go back to basketball. We need
Right,
LeBron
right, right.
James in the Miami Heat, right?
Exactly.
Sure, Dwayne Wade was always there, but like, hey, we needed LeBron to win the championship. So if everybody is aligned as owners of your mission, then you would not have this problem. Or if you have this problem, then it's probably not on the company anymore, right? Because
Mhm.
obviously a lot of factors go into what a person is happy about in a company, and it's all really about aligning incentives so that whenever the team wins,
Mhm.
every individual wins.
Right. Now, let me zero in on you as the founder here. Because again, new challenges means new learning from you as well. And you have to reinvent yourself as a founder. Because the more metamorphoses, I don't know if that's the right word, but more iterations of yourself becomes, and the faster you get there, the better it is from the company. And again, not everybody, even us, will be expendables as founders. It's because we
Yep.
might not even be the right person to take it to the next 100 million or whatnot. But
Mm.
I wanted to ask, because it's so hard just for us, we'll take on any challenge that will be thrown
Right.
at us. But as the problems become more complicated, there's less and less resources out there that will prepare you for it. And now this comes for our thirst for quality advice and mentorship. Who did you run to while you were going through these things? Because man, I remember chatting with Roland, with Brian, like, bro, I'm currently experiencing this. What's your take? Blah blah blah. And that's where that support system, people think that if you get here, you're good now. No, you actually need more
Oh,
shit at this level. Who was that for you guys?
look, you're here's one thing that's gonna happen when you start a company, and actually when you start a company and you've experienced some modest success,
Yeah.
you will start to hear feedback less and less, right?
Yeah.
Because you're the boss and no one's
Mhm.
gonna speak up to you. And also nobody knows enough about what you're doing to be in a position to say, hey, maybe Nichelle, you're supposed to do things this way, etc.
Mhm.
Right? No one will dare to do that, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean you're perfect. It actually, just means that no one's looking after your blind spots anymore, or no
Mhm.
one's looking after oncoming trains that might,
Hits you
hit
on the
you.
side. Mhm.
So in my case, I had the benefit of really good investors, right? So I'm
Wow.
gonna give shout outs to them. I'm gonna give them their
Let's
flowers
go.
here. All right. So our seed lead investor was B Next Ventures, right?
Excellent.
And the partner there, his name is Dirk. Amazing investor and really, really good, no bullshit, no bullshit advice every single time, right? He's not shy to say, Nichelle, you're fucking up in this area. Right?
Okay.
And you need that, right? Even as you had gotten funding from investors and they believe in you, they're actually in your corner, right? Like they'll
Exactly.
tell you these things to help you out. And the other one is somebody more local too. That's like Oak Drive Ventures has been a good source of uh, feedback and advice, no, for me as a founder. And, I'll mention something else too, no, Ron. One thing as we were growing, right, as a founder, I felt like I had to do more, right?
Yes.
I was working, okay, 5 days a week. I have to work 6 days a week now, or I have to work 7 days a week.
Yep.
And someone needs to look after product, marketing, operations, and I probably have to do more today. And I realized the path to growing is
Yeah.
not the founder doing more. It's actually the founder doing less, right? So I have to be able to delegate more, right? And it's tough to see that because the knee-jerk reaction of a founder who built everything from 0 to 1 is, okay, I'll just need to do more. But there comes a point in time when you have to do less, or else or else
You are your own blocker at that point.
you become that's a very good way of putting it. If somehow you can't find what's wrong in the company, probably it's you've become the bottleneck to so many things, as I probably maybe I'm becoming a bottleneck too, right? Yeah,
That's amazing. Now, and that's true. Again, the more, and this is what the trait of good founders that I've really seen, that the higher you are also getting into the stakes, like, the bigger your company get, the humbler you are, because you just realize how much more you don't know, right? That, you need all these feedback mechanisms that can give you the quality advice that you need in order to really thrive. Because if you don't get that, it's going to be really, really hard to survive, because again, you can be your own blocker. Now, Nichel, last few questions. Series B, okay? Tiger Global, bruh, amazing. What does it take to raise at Series B? Because again, I'm right in the thick of my pre-A, not even A yet.
mm-hmm.
And my deck is it's unrecognizable compared to my seed deck. And it's hella long as well. So much stuff to talk about and to unpack. What does that look like in Series B? And what does it take to get a tiger to come in?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's so many factors to getting an investor, and sometimes Tiger Global is a phenomenal investor for sure, but they're also the right investor for us, in that they believe in what we're trying to do. They believe in the Philippine market. They believe that there is a much bigger revolution happening now than just play to earn, or than just trading cryptocurrencies. So the path of going from pre-seed to like getting seed funded is probably an exercise in placing a bet on people, right? That's what's happening there, right?
Got it.
But when you get to Series B, there's a lot more proof required that this company is gonna make it, right? So when you come to Series B, you cannot go there with just a deck and no product, right? You have to show a lot of revenue traction. You have to show that even while you have good traction, you still have growth initiatives. And you also have to demonstrate that you're de-risking the business over time, right? It's probably, I thought raising a Series B would be easier than seed, because seed you literally have nothing, right?
Right.
It's a deck and at best maybe a partner, right? That's it.
Yes.
And that's already very hard. But come Series B, they go much deeper into what you actually do, before they make an assessment. Okay, hey, this is a company that's worth investing in. So
what's that timeline like? Because again, some seed, if you're lucky, if you have the right things on your plate, it probably happen in a few weeks' time, especially now in this market where there's a lot of money being thrown in the Philippines. Series B, how long is the thing? Because like from initial pitch or initial first date, how long is a Series B for? The reason why I'm asking is because, for example, you are in your Series A right now. Inevitably, of course, you're gonna have to do Series B unless you get acquired or you exit right away or you fail. You need to have enough runway and preparation to get to Series B. What's that timeline like? And what's the right approach to start telling people that, okay, I'm ready for B?
Okay. A good rule of thumb that actually I got from or early that actually I also got from a good friend. I'll give him a shout out, Mr. Ron Hose.
What up, Ron Hose?
PH, yeah. his rule of thumb is that if you have 6 months of cash left, right, 6 months of expenses left
Okay.
in your bank account, you should be trying to close around. You should be
Got
trying
it.
to,
So 6 months in. Got it.
or when you have 6 months to go, you have to start raising money, or you already probably need to be
Raising at that point.
racing at that point, because there's so many things that can happen in a fundraise.
Yeah.
In our case, for our Series B, we agreed to terms quite quickly, and I think Tiger is well known for that, no. And to tell you what, Ron, there's a very important reason behind a lot of investors wanting
Okay.
things to go very close very quickly,
Okay.
because businesses, the environment in which businesses operate change so fast,
Super.
right? That you don't want entrepreneurs to be waiting 3 or 4 months before help comes, right? It has to come right away, right? So large investors like Tiger Global, they all want to close very quickly, but realistically speaking, because it's also a much bigger company, a much bigger check size, and in some ways a much riskier bet,
Got it.
diligence can take long, right? So sometimes consultants or lawyers will have to do more to assess the business.
Got it.
uh,
All right.
and
Now let's zero in on the last, because I know I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the last round. So maybe it's unicorn sessions now when we get to that level. Let's see. But I want to know now a couple of things, because again, most Soonicorn founders, not all, are also now checking out how to pay it forward to other startup founders as well. And that's again a good sign of a thriving ecosystem, because it's founders cutting founders checks. In your point of view, what do you look for if you're looking for opportunities in founders that you want to like pay it forward to or support and take under your wing? Because again, that's the only way we're going to really pave the way for others, right? By paying that same trust that's been given to us or to you, to other guys who are at the back of the line.
you know I think uh in starting a company, you probably make a million mistakes, right? And
Yes.
if you succeed, you probably had made maybe more than just a million mistakes in the past.
Correct.
So I do think that the mistakes I've made have turned into valuable lessons that I can say this publicly. I'm happy to share to anyone at any time, right? In fact, there have been ex-employees of PDAX or ex-interns at PDAX who then started their own companies, and I'm always more than happy to talk to them and share lessons with them, because when you start, Ron, and I didn't know this when I first started, um, even though you want to fail fast, fail often, etc., you also can't fail too much because you don't have unlimited resources or time, right?
Exactly.
So the best way that I think I've been able to give back and hope to continue to give back is having coffee with people, chatting them up. Now, what do I look for? Well, obviously, we can't always just talk to everyone, right? So I look for people who really believe in their mission, who can commit to their mission, and who will create a lot of value for society, right? Solving a very real problem, and that's what excites me. And I've made some investments as well, but the investment is less about giving someone enough money to start a business. It's more about, okay, I'm with you, right? Like I have skin in the
Yes.
game. So when you come and when we talk about, when we bounce ideas on strategy, that you're bouncing ideas with someone who's in the trenches with you, right? So
Exactly.
that's what I look for.
That's amazing. And again, that's true. Giving access to an ally. It's not
Mm.
about the money, because at the end of the day, if you're starting out and you're in seed, you're very early in the game. You want people who've been there, who've bled before you, right? So that you don't bleed like they will ever do. I mean, it's inevitable. You're still gonna bleed, but at least don't bleed like we did, because it's very painful, right? And we've seen that before, and that is amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle, and I hope you get access to your office after this recording. But before I let you go, again, this is just I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing each other again. What's next for PDAX in Series B territory? Again, I know you guys have SLP now on PDAX. What should we look out for in the next coming months?
Look, on our app, we're looking to obviously add a lot more tokens that are safe and actually people want to trade. We're also looking to add more features, right? So watch out for more ways to do more with your crypto on the PDAX app. There's a lot more growth happening too on the institutional side of things. So hopefully we can add a lot more value by tapping every single opportunity that's right for PDAX right now. That's probably as much as I'm able to.
The rest is hush hush for now. Okay. There you go. But again, Michelle, thank you so much. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing each other here again. Hopefully, when we do this recording, it's in person now. So you can see what.
I want to see your office too. I show you mine, but I'm still locked out. Next time.
Then soon. Give us a few months. But before I let you go, and before we see each other, follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to, whether it's Apple, Spotify, or any type of podcast app you're listening to. If you see a star rating there, give us a 5-star so that we can do better content or give us feedback. Feedback is always needed anywhere. And again, if we did see some jargon, it's going to be the show notes on hustleshare.com. And lastly, please follow us join our community, the Hustleshare community on Facebook to be part of the Hustleshare listeners as well. Again, Michelle, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron, and have a good Saturday.
You too, and I'll see you guys in the next Soonicorn Sessions.